What is up, guys? It's McNulty here. Welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are all doing well. And as you can see, we are in for something a little bit different today. You might be able to notice that the background's not the normal background, etc., etc. And for any of you who have been following this channel for more than, I don't know how much, it's probably 9 months, maybe even a year now since I last did this. But you will know that this kind of background and me having my ugly mug up on the video means that we're doing something a bit special today. We are going to be going through the top 20 heroes in every single element, from the legendary to the epics to the rares, and we're going to be splitting it up into a video series. This is going to be the first of them, and this is going to be the top 20 ice heroes in Empires and Puzzles of all time. Now, normally with these videos, I go over a whole list of heroes going back right to the very beginning. However, with the advent of costumes and power creep being the way it is, what I'm going to do for today is I'm just going to focus on heroes that are released, or costumes that were released within the last 2 years. Because I believe that going back all the way to July 2024 is kind of about where the cap is going to stop. You may get one or two heroes that filter through, but for the most part, their costumes are going to make them relevant, and you'll see what I mean as we go through it. Now, what that does mean is that we still have 110 heroes to go through, and we have to pick out the top 20 heroes in Empires and Puzzles in the ice element for the legendaries. So, without any further ado, we will bring up, with the help of Empires and Puzzles, I might add, huge thank you to you. And I do have my handy dandy Empuzzled app on my phone just so that I can keep track of this. But we are going to bring up the list of our heroes. There's going to be a few pages of these, so we'll go through them pretty quickly. We will give grades as we go. So if they're trash, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on them. If they're great, or if they do have some versatility and usability, then obviously I will pick some out. And obviously you guys get involved in the comments and let me know if I miss somebody out that is an absolute superstar. It does happen with these kind of things because obviously it's, subjective to some degree. But also I feel like this is hopefully going to be a good guideline if you're thinking about, you've got this hero in your roster and you're trying to decide whether you should level them up. I'll hopefully be able to give you a little bit of guidance on that as well. So without any further ado, getting into our first list, we are going to be starting off with Chester. Funnily enough. So yeah, Chester, I don't know exactly going back to June or when it's going back to be fair. But Chester was one of the ones that came up when I did my date sort. So you can see he's running a team power of 1393. So I think about the cutoff is about 1400 at the moment for you to be competitive. So his special's good. However, he is primarily a rush superstar hero. So I'm not going to advise that you go ahead and second limit break Chester unless you're looking for somebody to perform in rush. I do like the fact that he deals curse damage because it's kind of a niche effect. But you know what? And I like the fact that he does the silence as well. So I think probably he's got some usability. So we'll put him as a solid B, maybe like an A grade for rush tier wolves, but outside of that a B. But still actually pretty good for such a, I don't know what the right word is, like dated hero. But yeah, Chester's okay. He's okay. I don't know if he's worth alpha ethers though. Maybe if you get got a spare tome of second limit break laying around and you need somebody for rush. Xera, the costume, absolute rubbish. Do not bother with Xera. She is dog water hero all day long. Cosmic Speaker next to her. Cosmic Speaker will be useful in some situations. Team power actually is 1460 at the max, so that's not bad at all. And her special skill is average speed, never misses its targets. They've got some cool family bonuses. Deals 350% damage to all enemies, so that's good. Dispels buffs from all enemies at the end of each turn for 4 turns, which is unusual, but still kind of good. And then cleanses status elements from all enemies at the end of each turn for 4 turns as well, which again, we do see more of now because of like the resonance effect and the surge bleed damage and all the other kind of damage over time ailments that are kind of stacking up at the moment. So to be fair, I do think Cosmic Speaker will still hold their own for the Astral Elves. And I would actually give, I would give Cosmic Speaker an A. I'm going to say A. Right. I don't know how many of these are going to go through, but it could be a pretty long freaking video if they all go like that. Next to Cosmic Speaker, who do we have? Pardon me. Sorry, it's a bit dry. It's been hot. It's been freaking hot here. But like, I don't know where you guys are, but it's for us in the UK, it's been pretty hot. I know you Americans, like you guys are like, nah, it's like 150 some Fahrenheit. I don't know how it works. To us, it's like 35 is hot, like in degrees centigrade. Anyways, moving on. We've got Vincent. Vincent's pretty good. Fast speed, hits all enemies, gives negative defense against ice. And then, I mean, yeah, negative defense down first and then the 270%. Otherwise, it's 200%. I mean, he is fast speed. He is running a pretty decent team power and he does get the gargoyle passive. So I would say he's still in with a shout. Probably a solid B grade hero at the moment. Slim Go next to him. Probably pretty much the same. He is fast speed, which is good. I do have him maxed, but I don't have him second limit broken yet. I'm not sure on this guy. So I'm going to take my own advice. I'm probably going to say B grade for him, but like maybe good if you need some extra dot damage because he does give 915 water damage. He does do 270% damage to all. Team power is pretty decent at 1507, and he gives negative mana generation to the enemy. So I kind of think he's a clutch. Like he's not going to win any battles on his own, put it that way. He's not like a superstar destructive hero, but he's pretty good. Should we give him a B plus? Yeah, we'll put him between B and A. Like I'd put him high B tier. Right. Next to him, we've got Mene. I wouldn't waste your time on Mene. Sorry for those of you who love Heroes of the Month, but no. Sawano, one of my least impressive of the most recent ninjas, to be fair. Still pretty good as a healer because he's got that fast speed heal for all. And then he recovers health after any allies cast their special skill. It's an interesting mechanic. I don't think it works. It works pretty well on the moth. I can't remember his name now, the tubby red moth. But it works okay on him, but also he's one of the weaker moths. So I'm not going to say I'm not blown away by it. And there's a cleanse. Yeah, nah. Sawano is going to have to sit again at B grade, I would say, for Sawano. Atlantia with the first costume recently featured in a soul exchange for basically no souls. And she's not very good. So I wouldn't bother with her. Next to her, you've got Hrothgar. My boy Hrothgar is insane. He's just such a great hero. Like he hits everybody. He reduces mana generation. He gives that attack increase as well. Like I've got 2 of Hrothgar maxed and I've very, very few duplicate heroes. I think it would be Lord Loki. There's only 3. Lord Loki, Hrothgar, and Dark Lord. And that is it. That is literally the 3 heroes that I have dupes maxed of. And Rigod, but obviously you can't count him because he's a 4-star. But yeah, insanely good hero, hit all hero. He hits like a truck. His stats are still relevant, maxed out. He's at 1554. So yeah, I think going to be a really good hero still for a while to come. He's not crazy anymore, but I would definitely say he's in the high A tier heroes. Not quite an S tier hero like he once was, unfortunately, but close. Then next to him, we've got Mr. Pengi. The first costume for Mr. Pengi, I feel like he needs a bit of a bump. We've just had a recently released hero in a different element that does a similar thing. I think it was one of the sharks, I want to say, but yeah, definitely blew Pengi out the water. So he is no longer really a very relevant hero. Like he's a fun hero because his effect is fun, but outside of that, he's not very relevant. We've got Fergus next to him. Fergus is still, to me, an S tier hero. Really, really good tank. Can sneak up on you like really quickly if you're not ready for him. However, there are a lot of people that resist mana now, and he is getting a bit dated in terms of his stats. So while I would still say that he is in the S tier, I'd say that he's low in the S tier, but still really, really good and definitely still worth it because he's excellent for farming map stages as well. Don't overlook that part of him. And even for things like the treasure quest where you can reduce mana with him, you can reduce growth against the Mahayota heroes. So he's very versatile even if you're not necessarily getting his special skill off, even before that, he's versatile. Once you do cast, then obviously he does turn the tide of battle. So yeah, still an S tier hero, I would say solid. And Bennu, next to him, I've never been a fan of Bennu. I don't think there's anything great about it. I think it's counterattack for the caster and nearby. I'm not even going to go into his card. That's how strongly I feel that he's not worth your mats. Quarry next to him, though, and I would say he gets overlooked quite a lot of the time. He is an incredible hero. I think maybe just because he's running at average speed, the fact that he's doing so much, people are like, well, yeah, he should be doing that much. But he is so good. He's got so many incredible passives. He deals a whopping amount of damage to the target and the nearby. It's 450%. He gives the 1,092 water damage over 4 turns, and all allies absorb 50% of that as not just regular health, but boosted health. He also gives the growth, which is a 200 attack and 200 defense every time he fires. It's a strong, strong special skill. And he is an excellent part of any attacking team, still very relevant stats. Maybe getting a little bit lower in terms of the damage output, but still 450 to 3 is pretty incredible. And the fact that he gives the growth as well, I think that just tips things over the edge. Growth is such a valuable effect. So yeah, incredible S tier hero. Still definitely consider maxing Quarry if you do have him. If you haven't touched him, he's great. Glass Richard, obviously got the stylish one now, so we're not gonna stop and focus on Glass. We'll get to the stylish one in a moment. And Vori, jury's out. Jury's out on Envari. I've got to give her like a B grade. I think just because she can destroy minions and fiends, and I think her effect could be very, very strong if we do see mega fiends becoming a prevalent part of the meta. And you might say, yeah, with the Valiant Vegetables, they're a prevalent part of the meta. Well, they're not really, because they're not the biggest issue that you have at the moment. Otherwise, we would see teams stacked with Valiant Vegetables all across the board, but we don't. We're seeing Astral Demons at the moment, and we are seeing the Wildcats at the moment. And they're the biggest problem. And even the Fawns before then were more prevalent than the Valiant Vegetables. So, or Vigilant Vegetables, I don't know what I'm supposed to say. But honestly, like, until we see the veggies like come out of their shells, come out of their husks. And Vori's going to have to stay in the B grade. Baltair is great. However, or he was great, I should say, as a bard. But I just think he's a little bit too dated now. See, 350% damage to all enemies ain't going to hit like it did, a year ago. Healing for the damage dealt is good. So 30% of the damage dealt he heals for. Minion wound, so the target's minions' health reduced and mega minions. So he was good when the mega minions were around and they were more prevalent. I think maybe when we see the return of the goblins, maybe he'll get something. But yeah, for now, I've got to put him in the C grade, unfortunately. Like, he just doesn't have enough at the moment to make him relevant. Frost Snout next to him, another garrison guard that I'm not very impressed by, unfortunately. I don't know. I just don't know. 380% to the target nearby at fast is good. And reducing the duration of ailments is good. It's kind of like a pseudo cleanse, but not really a cleanse. And then giving increased critical chance. See, he's not really doing enough. And then he gets the guard rally, which is against Wither. So he's, again, not doing enough. So yeah, Frost Snout, he's a B grade, like, he's a B grade hero. He's all right. He'll be a decent part of an attacking team. And if Wither becomes prevalent again with the return of the goblins, then who knows? But for now, he's pretty average. Sable next to him. This is a hero that I love to hate and I hate to love, because I do. And I actually have grown more and more fond of Sable since her release. Like, when she first came out, I thought incredible art, pretty shitty hero. Now, a while down the line, I think incredible art, incredible hero. Like, because she really does have a unique skill. So she casts her full removal on herself. She's at very fast speed, and then she shifts into ghost form. When the ghost form expires, she brings a random defeated ally back with 40% HP. Now, what if you don't need it? Well, if you don't need it, you don't need it. It doesn't actually matter. It does open up a ghosting lane. If you don't need it, it's, neither here nor there. But when you need it, she can bring back the most powerful ally and do it at very fast speed. And then she can die and do it again, or she can ghost and do it again when you've got a special skill ready to cast. She's at very fast speed. She's got some protection with the Fox minions, but not a lot. But she does have that really strong healing reduction passive where all enemies' healing's reduced by 50%. And then all allies gain 900 health over 3 turns. I wish it was like a percentage, but it's okay. Still a decent amount. And she cleanses status elements at the end of each turn as well. So yeah, she's an element cleanser and healer as well. And reviver, but a reviver in a different sense, where I think you get a little bit more out of it. It's a bit easier to control. So yeah, Sable, absolutely still an S tier hero, and she's got the stats to match. She's at 1524, which is still really, really good. In fact, all of these heroes are within a good stat range that I would say they're going to be usable for at least a year, provided power creep doesn't go crazy. They should all be usable for at least the next 12 months, and then more as we get higher up in the list. So Modthrith, she's the one with the counterattack. Like, I don't really find her too much of an issue. Like, I know some people absolutely swear by her. I don't have her. I do have another counterattacker, which I think is actually better than her, and we will see her on this list. But I will leave that for a little bit, and we'll get back to that. So she gives a counterattack with the caster and nearby allies counterattack with 135% for 3 turns. Sorry, it's a big counterattack for a short period of time. They decrease the mana from the attack on every counterattack for 3 turns. This is my problem. I don't think it really works as well as it used to, because I think that mana gain can be increased in a lot of different ways now. And there are a lot of heroes that have mana increases in part of their passives as well. And I just feel like it's not, it can be really effective and can be really frustrating, but more times than not, I don't think it does the job, especially if you're already charged, then it doesn't matter. Anyways, so all allies get a stack. It says, they get stack of attack, and then they get the extra 100% special skill damage for 4 turns. So with Modthrith, we're doing cool things, but we're not doing anything like completely game shattering. And I just think she's lacking in a few areas. I know some people are going to hate me for that. Pepper Blue, I think that she has gotten better since she's been given some damage, which she needed, and she is one of the moths, so she's good on like equalizer ward defense. But I still say she's probably like a high B grade hero. Ascian next to her. Ascian's a good hero. He does damage to all enemies at fast speed, and then he gives negative 50% defense against special skills, which is a lasting defense element, and it lasts until the enemy takes damage from the special skill once. After that, the enemy's mana gets reduced by 15%, so it's a mana cut as well. And then all allies gain 15% mana after 2 turns, or if the effect's removed before the duration ends. He just does a lot. He's a really good part of a fast blue attacking team. And yeah, he would be, for me, in the S tier, I think. Next to him, we've got Keto with her costume, still going to make it into the S tier. She's probably going to be low in the S tier at the moment, but like, she's still a really, really good hero and definitely worth the mats and investment. Burton next to her, one of the best insanity heroes with a skill that just matches. It just does everything that you want from an insanity hero, where he does damage to the target nearby. He inflicts them with insanity, and then he puts stone skin up, which makes it so difficult for you to hit him afterwards. Granted, it's not the soft skin effect that you need to be able to stop inflicting the insanity on the character, but I believe that you can actually pair him with Pop Hit, alongside Pop Hit, to be able to get that effect. As long as you, I think fire pop hit first and then him, or it might be the other way around. But like seriously, seriously good. And no, it shouldn't be the other way around. It should be before, pop it before and then him after, and then not get the insanity. But really great hero, fast speed, huge amount of damage, excellent looking card, and definitely a solid S tier hero. So yeah, 100% worth it. Let's move on. Right. We've got Magni, the glass version. Again, Magni has got a stylish costume in this list, so we'll skip over him for now. Tilmoin, not a fan. Unfortunately, I just don't think his special works. He does steal buffs from the target, which is cool. He puts the target into deep sleep, which is cool. And then he recovers 30% health for all, which is cool. And I don't know if he had that initially, but it's not enough. It's a single target. Even though he's running at fast speed, I don't feel like he's disruptive enough for him to be a humongous problem. He's still good, so I'll put him as an A tier hero, but he's definitely not going to break into even the high A tier or S tier. Ixin next to him. Ixin is good. Ixin is very good. She's brutal as well. 530% damage she deals to the target, and then the attack chains through all enemies adjacent. It doesn't reduce damage on the chain either, and all the hit targets receive 50% increased damage for 5 turns. It's increased by 10% for each minion or Mega Minion owned, so you can get up to 100% increased damage, which is insane. So you want slow speed heroes that completely change the game. This is an example of that, and Ixin is a insanely good example. I would level her in a heartbeat. Incredible, absolute rush superstar, but incredible outside of that as well. And then she gives the Wither, which is negative 450 attack. You might laugh at it because it's not negative defense and that doesn't really help you, but negative 450 attack is huge. It's crippling. She's incredible, trust me. Really good hero. Right. Next one on the list is Clegg. Absolutely not worth. He's an absolute waste of space and time. Makes me angry just look at him. And then next to him, we've got Hogni. So Hogni has had a costume featured, which was literally just released today as I'm making this video. I don't know when I'm going to put this out, but as I'm making it, it's today. And then he actually, his skills changed quite a bit in the costume version. I think he's a really incredible hero now. Probably better than he was as an original version. But spoiler alert, I'm not going to be including him on the top 20 on this list because he was literally just released today. So it's a little bit early, I think, to be evaluating him, and I haven't had a good chance to, so I'm just not. But I do think he's an S tier hero. I will say that much. He deals a good amount of damage to the target and nearby, extra damage against the fire. He now reduces the max health by a certain amount over 4 turns. I think it's 250 over 4 turns, where before it was 800 as a single amount. I don't know which is better. I think the single amount to me feels better because it feels like you're doing damage. But over time could be good as well because, again, it can counteract healing. But then here's the thing. He already does that. Because in the original version, the target and nearby get negative 70% decrease for healing for 4 turns. In the new version, they can't heal and they receive damage per heal, which is kind of cool because then they receive damage per heal that they attempt and they receive the negative boosted health every single turn. So they can't get rid of it, basically. And it's just chipping away at them. And it makes it a bit more difficult, I feel, to know when you're going to get to the bottom of your health bar. So that part I do like. Anyways, let's move on. He is an S tier hero, and his costume was just released recently. Melina, just an incredible hero. Like all round, she is exactly what you want. When you're going on attack team, she's incredible because she's got that instant health recovery and cleanse at the first charge at very fast speed. And then at second charge, which is granted at slow speed, she's doing 440% damage to all. and giving 480 frost damage over 5 turns. Now, that is a minuscule amount of frost damage, which is the problem with her. And she has a dispel, which comes after the damage, the frost damage. So I'm going to hate myself for this, unfortunately, but Melina's got to go in the top of B tier. Maybe A tier because she's just, I mean, I've got that soft spot because she cleanses and dispels as well, but she does it all in the wrong order. Yes, she gets some excellent passives with the mana increase and things like that, but I just don't think, given what we've currently got in the game at the moment, that she is a meta, what I would call a meta hero anymore. And for that reason, she's got to be top of B tier. Right, let's move on. Sorry, Melina. Magistine with his slimy balls. This dude is good, 325% to all, so hit all heroes always good. And then he deals extra damage against the minion enemies if they have minions, but it's not a huge amount. So it goes from 325 up to 375 if the team had minions or mega minions. And then they get the Devouring Goo, which removes all dispellable buffs and growth effects as well, and deals 200 damage per turn. And yeah, I don't know about Devouring Goo. It's not that great. I've got a nature Devouring Goo. I can't remember the names. Well, I can't remember all the names. But yeah, I've got one I've just leveled, and he, she, whatever it is not that great with the Devouring Goo. I think probably the Sticky Surface is probably better than the Devouring Goo, but I don't know. I'm jury's out on Magistine. I gotta put him in the B tier though, but maybe high B tier. But like, yeah, he's not incredible. Next to him, we've got the Experience Mimic in Ice. I mean, it's a mimic. It's good. For farming, they're not really great heroes though. I know people like, have a go at me for that. And yeah, I do use my mimics on my attack teams as well, especially like the experience one and the emblem one. The emblem one's the sniper. The experience one is a hit 3. No, is the experience one the hit 3? I can't remember. Anyways, the average and the fast speed ones I'd say are usable. The slow speed ones I wouldn't bother with on war attack teams. I just think they're too slow, but stats wise, they are relevant. But yeah, I can't say much more about them than that. Like, I'll put them as a B grade hero. They're pretty average. Jolyon next to them, or next to the Mimic. So this guy, he's a weird one because he gives a dodge where all allies get 75% chance to dodge. And then the effect lasts until they successfully dodge once. So it's kind of a guaranteed delay, but it's not guaranteed because it's a percentage chance as well. It's a weird one. And then after that ends, they get this doll minion, which has 30% HP and attack. And then when summoned, it gives owner immunity to new status elements as long as they have a doll minion. It seems like a really long-winded way of giving ailment immunity. Like, you could just have said he gives the ailment immunity after the dodge ends, and it lasts for, I don't know, it lasts for 3 turns or whatever. Or it could have been linked to the dodge. I don't know why they had to go and put a minion on. I feel like it kind of opens him up to counters. Although it could work well maybe with like Costume Penguin. I don't know. He's just a weird hero. He does have the resist insanity. I do think there are a few cool uses for him though. And I do like when they bring out heroes with interesting sort of mechanics. So, but I mean, for that, I can't just give it all for that though. This is, we're talking about the top heroes in the game. So a B grade. We'll give him a B just to be nice. And obviously they are going head to head against the best here. So sorry if I'm being harsh. Next to him though, you got somebody like Song Jiang. And Song Jiang is an epitome of an S tier hero. He does everything right. Huge damage, 450% to the target and nearby. He heals himself and the nearby for 20% of the damage. He silences the target and nearby, and then he gives negative defense for 4 turns. It's great. Perfect, even. And the extra critical chance is not bad either. So yeah, 100% S tier hero, and you should definitely level him if you have him. Kiara next to him. Um, I like her better than Frost Snout. That's kind of what comes to mind. But deals 200% damage to all. So there you go. She's at least a hit all. Summons a Spear God Mega Minion, and that's also why I like it a bit more. The Spear God Mega Minion's pretty good because it's got 300% attack, and it dispels all dispellable buffs from the target. I still prefer the Sword God Mega Minion, but the Spear God is kind of just a bit less good, and doesn't do any damage over time, which is kind of annoying. And then you've got the Shield Guard one, which is awesome because it cleanses every single turn, but it does next to no damage compared to the other two. So yeah, I like her. I think that she's still versatile and usable. We've got to put her as an A tier hero. But yeah, she's not meta, she's not S tier. Next to her, we've got Hysteria, who I have recently pulled. Finally, my first Insanity hero, and she is a taunter as well. So yeah, I think she's interesting. I don't think she's gonna be like breaking the game. She would have done it by now if she was gonna, and you hardly ever hear of her, and you really hardly ever see her, to be fair. But yeah, she gives taunt, and then for the next 4 turns, she inflicts 10 insanity on all enemies. Whenever an enemy deals damage through special skills, tiles, and normal attacks are limited to once per turn. So the special skills can trigger more than once, but tiles and normal attacks are limited to once per turn. So she's going to be taking a lot of damage. At least that's the idea. So yeah, she's going to be taking a lot of damage. So I'm not sure she can really take full advantage of that, but it has yet to be seen. And again, it's a really interesting mechanic, though I feel she is a bit stronger than the hero we were just looking at, than Jolyon. I've got to put her in the high A tier, I think, with that skill. Next to her, we've got Chitrangada. Speaking of heroes that have proven themselves time and time again, you really won't find a lot of top tier attack teams / defense teams at one point without this hero on them, and with good reason. Fast speed, recovers 25% health for all. She gives the growth boon, so she recovers extra health for each point of modified defense. And then she has a chance to revive each defeated ally with 35% HP, which is huge. And she cleanses a status ailment from all allies. She's just crazy good, keeps herself growing every single turn, increasing the defense of herself, increasing the defense of, increasing the healing she can apply to your team, and doing it all, in the blink of an eye. And plus she revives as well as part of her talent class. So yeah, S tier all day long. No ifs, ands, or buts. Isania Glass. We have just recently had a stylish costume for her, so we'll leave her alone for now until we get to the stylies. We've got Chimister, another moth over here. Chimister is, what does he do? Oh, Toxin. So he's very fast speed with the Toxin. If enemies, the first one, all enemies receive 1145 toxin damage over 5 turns. So that's when he puts it out. And then the damage increase against boosted health minions or mega minions, and he dispels buffs from all enemies. But if they already have the toxin effect, he then, then all enemies receive 1430 toxin damage over 5 turns. So that's a bigger amount, not by a huge amount though. And then the damage is increased against mega minions, dispels buffs, and then all allies regenerate 1300 boosted health over 5 turns. So once the toxin damage goes out, he then becomes a boosted health heal over time healer as well. And it's a lot of ailment damage. I mean, you can pair him up with other heroes that do increase ailment damage. Like, I just immediately Riverfang comes to mind. Of the foxes, would be incredible to pair with this guy because he's going to increase the damage of the ailments and he's in the right element at the right speed. This guy is running at very fast speed though. It's a kind of downside that his effect doesn't stack, but it does kind of stack because the second special's obviously reliant on there already being toxin out on the board. And this guy's like one of the only like 3 or 4 heroes in the whole entire game that do toxin. So they're kind of relying on you firing this guy off multiple times during the course of a battle. I'm not sure that he works more effectively being fired off like 3 or 4 times than he will do just being fired off twice. So yeah, Where do I stand on him? I don't freaking know. No, I think he's got to be as high as you can possibly get in the A tier, but not quite cutting it into the S tier of heroes. Next to him, we have Leonard. And again, I mean, speaking of S tier, like this guy's going to be, a wildcat. He already has a huge leg up on pretty much any other family except the Astral Demons in the game. As soon as you see the Wildcats on a defense team, you know there's going to be trouble. And Leonard he's not quite the top of that, but he's definitely an S tier hero. So fast speed, 500% damage to the target. The target receives 1500 surge bleed, and then the surge bleed can increase. The target also takes 40% increased damage from status ailments. So again, like I was saying with the other dude, you can pair him with this dude. But it is just for the single target, but it is for 6 turns. So that's 40% increase for 6 turns. And then the target also resists healing, so they can't heal themselves. That's just brutal. On top of that, if they do have some dot already and alongside the surge bleed, because he's increasing his own bleed damage as well. Yeah, this guy's brutal. He's a crazy good sniper. I think he's probably going to fight out a battle between him and one other hero that is going to be on this group of heroes for the top sniper in the whole of ENP. I think he's probably right up there. He is at fast speed as well, by the way. So yeah, 100,000,000% S tier. And yeah, just great. I could go on about Leonard for a while, but I won't. I won't bore you to death. Next to him, we've got Orca. So Orca, another astral dwarf. And yeah, he's a good healer, actually, really good. Recovers 30% health for all allies. Gives growth, so all allies get 250 attack. Unfortunately, no defense, but the attack is really good. And then boost the health of all allies by 450 after 3 turns. So there's a nice little extra kick at the back end. And then immediately if the effect's removed before the duration ends. So it's kind of a guarantee it's going to happen anyway. And yeah, he's pretty straightforward, but what more do you want? He's a healer. He gives growth, and he boosts health as well. I mean, you could want to cleanse or you could want to dispel, but I think that he does that. No, he doesn't do that as part of his passive, but he does have an insane amount of really awesome passives. Anyways, moving on. He's an S tier hero, by the way. And just in case you were wondering, he is S tier and you should definitely level him. Salvatore on next to him, the ghostly grandpa. Do not touch this guy with a barge pole. He will come back to haunt you and you won't like it. He's just not good. He's not good at all. I'm not going to waste time on him. If you want, I have done a video on him in the past and I hate him. Anyways, let's move on. Ascension Mimic, again. Sorry, that's the one I was thinking of that hits 3, the Ascension Mimic. So yeah, worth doing. Or is it? Fucking, I don't know. I've got like 3 different types of mimics, and I have no freaking clue what they do, although I use them. I know one hit 3, one hits 1, and one is slow speed, so I don't use him in attacks and raids. That's kind of like where you get to, honestly, at some point. You just go through your heroes and you're like, okay, you do that. And like, I don't need to know everything about you every time I start to use you. But anyway, some you do, but not all of them. Gluzma, next to him. Oh, sorry, the Ascension Mimic's good. Like, we got to put I'll put all the mimics as A+, like high A tier. There we go. Gluzma. Right. This is the guy I always said who was competing for the top sniper alongside Leonard. And he is a slime. So he's immediately at a disadvantage. But I think he's incredible. So steals all minions or a mega minion from the target. Fast speed. Deals 600% damage to the target. And then the target can't cast any new status effects on enemies or allies for 3 turns. That is so strong. I mean, that is... I mean, just to put it into perspective, you fire this guy and you hit Bernadette. She cannot do the painting thing. She just can't do it. She can't cause any status ailments. You fire him at any hero that does any effect or ailment. They can't do it. They're completely disabled from anything except, sorry, I'm so excited about this guy, for anything except for damage. They're completely disabled. So yeah, he's incredible, like already. And then the target enemy receives devouring goo. So yeah, I just said the sticky surface is better. I think it is. And it removes dispellable buffs and growth effects. Deals 200 damage per turn and 100 damage per each removed effect. So of the two, it's kind of got to be Lenot though, doesn't it? The Wildcat, but not by a huge amount. Gluzma still in with a shout. Absolute S tier hero, definitely worth it, but perhaps not quite in the same sort of realm when it comes to defensive prowess as Lenot. Next to him, we have Riverfang, another one who I definitely rank in the S tier. He does a boatload of damage. He has a priority dispel, which you cannot over egg how good that is. Actually, priority dispel is incredible. 400% to the target nearby, does water damage, and then heals for the water damage dealt by 50%, and then the target nearby take lasting 50% damage from status ailments. And that's why he's so good, because you compare him with other incredible heroes. Like I use him with Sobek, and I've got Najal, and they're both in the ice element. One does frost damage, one does the sand and the bleed damage, and then Riverfang, does the water damage, and all of that is increased by 50%, and it's lasting, so I don't need to worry about when I'm firing them off. But when I do, I know that that damage over time is going to be 50% higher. Incredible hero. Yeah, 100 million% S tier. Zengar next to him, I was quite impressed, I believe. I seem to remember being quite impressed by the costume. He is fast speed, so he does 450% to the target. And then if the target's a fire element, he deals the damage to the nearby. And then the target receives 1434 frost over 3 turns. And the nearby receive 972 frost over 3 turns. So again, like this kind of guy would be excellent to pair up next to Riverfang, but he's pretty kind of bland and boring, even though he does do a pretty good amount of damage at fast speed. But if you just compare and contrast the two, like they're not even in the same realm, if you're totally honest. So yeah, Zengar is going to be in the B grade, top of B tier, I would say. Savafa next to him, weird name to say, weird hero initially, wasn't a huge fan of her when she came out, and I was like totally over the Untold Tales 2 heroes, but, and it's a big but, when this hero gets a costume, I think she's going to be deadly and she is already, but I know she's got a costume coming up because obviously they're currently releasing these costumes. But I mean, she's very fast speed. She does attack the target and nearby with Frostfall Strike, dealing up to 1500 damage, and she deals more damage obviously if it's fire. The target special the special skill never misses, so another huge plus for these heroes. And then the target and the nearby receive 705 bleed damage over 3 turns. And then they get a mark of bleed, so whenever a marked target receives bleed damage, they gain a stack, and each stack increases all damage that the target receives by 5%. So there is a bit of slow poison in here, but the thing is, it's very fast, slow poison. And obviously, I mean that because she's firing it off so quickly that before you know it, you've been taking huge amounts of damage, not just from this, but also from the frost damage that is coming out from the family passive, from the passive. So next up on our list is Bart, and you may notice that I have had a change of shirt, and that is not because it's not because I was sweating buckets. It's because it's actually the following day. In fact, it's like 2 days later, I think, because I had to record a different video last night. But yeah, we are going to get through this freaking thing if it kills me. I honestly, I didn't expect it to go that long. But do you know why? It's because a lot of these heroes are incredible heroes. So we are moving on the list. And the next one on the list on the row is Bart. Bart is obviously part of the Magic family. He's pretty damn good. He's very fast speed, 350% damage to the target and minor to the nearby I can work with. Reduces the max health of the target nearby by 500, so he's got health reduction going on there as well. And then negative accuracy. He's not like a game-breaking hero. I think we'll probably put him in like the B tier, I would say, for Bart. B for Bart. And then next on the list, who was next to Bart? So we've got Wu Song is next. I mean, obviously, Wu Song has got to be right up there. He is a very decent hero. He is part of the brand new Outlaws, and I think that we will see him soon, probably featured in the War of Three Kingdoms portal. So yeah, a priority dispel from all, and then 600% to the target, and then extra damage to the nearby if the target's of the fire element, so you can kind of control it. I mean, he's got to be like breaking into the S tier because of the priority dispel. I'll give it to him. He's probably at the relatively bottom of S tier, but still very, very good and not the best out of the outlaws. Like I would prefer. I don't know if we passed him yet or not. I don't think we have, but there is one that I would kind of prefer over him. In fact, yeah, we did pass him. We've already done him, so that would be Song Jiang. I would prefer over him. Right. Emblem Mimic in Ice, again, it's a Mimic. The Emblem Mimic's actually a pretty good sniper and fast speed. So yeah, I would say right up there at the top of A tier, stats-wise, really, really good. Neresis, the hero of the month. I would say can't probably give her any more than a B minus. Like I think she's a fast speed hero, which is cool. And she does deal damage to the target, but the target has to be defeated by the attack for the caster to gain the mana. And I don't think she's doing enough damage for that to really be a huge factor. So we won't dwell on her. She'll be at the bottom of the B grade heroes. And B is not bad. Like B is not B for bad. B is B for average. As far as we're doing these grades, I just want to make that clear before anybody goes and freaking jumps off of a cliff. God forbid. Do not do that. Right. Anyway, moving on. Glessivolt. So Glessivolt was, I believe, one of the newer constructs. Yeah, he's got the minion core passive, which is cool. And then, of course, the special skill blocking, the empowered skill blocking is good for these guys. 280% damage to all enemies is decent. Gives negative defense and a further 5% per ice shield on the board, can get up to 55% defense down. And then frost damage for all enemies. I mean, he's definitely an S tier hero, I would say. Just with that, you can't block his special. He runs at fast speed, hits all, gives a huge potential defensive down so that any of your other heroes can follow up, and has the stats to back it up as well. He's running a team power of 1652. So yeah, he is in the S tier. Ludovico is another one. I mean, he's next to him. So Ludovico is actually really freaking good. I was having a look over this card the other day when making this list, and I was actually like, you know what? Does he get into the top 20? And you will find out in just a minute, but I'm very tempted by this dude because he might just recover 20% health for all. He is fast speed though, but every stack of the Blood Lily gives him a boosted health effect by up to 900 boosted health in total. So that adds to what he's already doing. And then all allies get immunity to new fiends for 3 turns. So a great counter against the veggies. And he cleanses status ailments from all allies as well. So yeah, he's a really, really solid healer. And he pairs up really well with other members of his same family. So yeah, I would put him in the S tier. Next to him, we have Camilla. The costume for Camilla, unfortunately, I'm going to say she's going to be in the B grade, unfortunately. Despite the fact that her stats are right there, she was very unimpressive in terms of her costume. I don't think they gave her enough extra when it came to the costume. Just the amount of boosted health and the amount of health reduction, it's not enough to make her incredible. I don't know. You can read over your card for yourself. I'm not going to go into it right now, but she is not a great hero. I would not invest the mats. Even if I got the costume for Camilla and, the stats are incredible, I probably wouldn't invest the mats. Vernix next to her, though, is a completely different story. Probably one of the best Wildcats ever released. And S tier all day long. No ifs, ands, or buts. She is right up there with the best of them. Damage to all, reducing the mana of enemies by 5%, and then giving nearly 2,500 frost damage over 5 turns, plus the ridiculous passive. I mean, most of the Wildcats you could just put in the S tier just for the passive alone. That's it. And if it wasn't for, like, they would need something a little bit extra, but like that's how good that passive is. Right. So Vernix is S tier without a doubt. Emile next to her, or Emily, sorry. She is one of the Insanity family heroes. So the Endless Maze, I can't remember this one very well, to be fair, so I'm going to read it. She casts full removal on the target. The target shifts into ghost form for 5 turns. While in ghost form, 369 damage a turn. And then when the ghost form expires, deals 1300 damage to all allies and inflicts 15 insanity on them. Casting the special inflicts 45 insanity on her. And she's running at slow speed. That's a really trashy special. And that is probably why I don't remember her. She's very forgettable. The art is trash, the card is trash, the special's trash. Emily is pretty much trash. So yeah, I wouldn't. Tethys, the first costume for Tethys, even though she is so the Atlanteans, has she now received? Oh no, that's the yeah. So I don't rate the costume for Tethys. Her power's not there. It's a very dated card, despite the fact that she looks freaking incredible, like the best freaking thighs and hips in the game. There's nothing else that I think is good about that card. So yeah, I wouldn't level her. I just don't think she's worth it at all. Now, onto the Astral Demons and Anathema. One of the first Astral Demons, one of the, well, very first sort of bunch of Astral Demons that came out. She is slow speed, but she, I would say, is like the new Alfrike, 430 damage, 430% damage to 5 random enemies and hits enemies with an Astral Orb. The Astral Orb owner can't gain any new status effect buffs, so it blocks all buffs. I'd kind of like it if it was the mindless attack, but then that would be very reminiscent of Alfrike. They should make it very slow speed. And then the Astral Orbs do explode in 3 turns, and they also deal 500 damage to their owner. If it's cleansed, then you receive Resonance for 3 turns, and the Resonance deals 113 damage to the afflicted enemy and 556 to the nearby allies. So you don't want to cleanse it, really. I would rather leave it and take the 500 damage than to have to deal with the Resonance. So yeah, she's a very strong hero, definitely up there in the S tier. However, she is going to be more well suited to rush formats. Like, I don't feel like she's going to be quite as impactful because there is a bit of a delay on the damage. But if you do accidentally cleanse, you're in for a world of pain. And she hits pretty hard as well. So yeah, I mean, she's probably at the bottom of the S tier, but the Astral Demons have so many great passives. They are just nigh on indestructible. Next on our list, we've got Howlwinter. Absolutely rate this guy. He is the worst freaking tank to face in the entire game. I'm probably exaggerating there, but he is pretty well up there. He gets taunt. He also counterattacks a random enemy with 130% of the damage he receives for 4 turns, and he reduces all received damage by 55% for 4 turns, and he's immune to new status ailments for 4 turns. Like, you just cannot cut him down. He is the epitome of what a taunt hero should be. Also, you can't prevent him from casting his special skill because of his passives, and he gets the Killerbot mega minions, which are freaking great as well. Howlwinter is an S tier hero all day long. He is incredible, and you should definitely max him if you're sleeping on him. You've got next on the list is Lane. Again, another S tier hero. He is. Unfortunately, I don't think the villains family, or whatever the heck the family of these guys is called, I think it's called, Shady Scoundrels. That's it. So yeah, I don't think that the Scoundrels have taken off quite that well. If anything, I think Lane is probably one of the more popular out of the two that have been released so far, but I'm sure that things may change. So basically the special skill, 585% damage to the target and minor to all other enemies. It's a good hit though. And then the caster goes into ambush. Damage dealt is increased by 50% and damage received is decreased by 40%. So that's very strong because it protects the character as well. And he deals extra damage against fire. I do think he's an S tier hero all day long. Don't get me wrong. I think he is an incredible hero. But yeah, he's not quite up at the top. Let's put it that way. Like, he may be close with the amount of damage that he puts out alone. And if that ransack effect actually becomes ambush. So it says when he goes into ambush, all cleansable ailments and wither effects are removed, and he can't gain new ailments or wither effects while in ambush. And then ambush ends once he's received 1500 damage. So it's Yeah, I mean, it's cool if he has already got it says all existing cleansable ailments and wither effects are removed. So if he's got ailments and you want to get them off him, that's actually really good. And then he can't take any new ailments or new wither effects while he is currently in that state, which is also good. But then I think it was the ransack with the other one that actually is a bit more impactful. Yeah, so ransack steals 100 health, safely steals a buff from the enemy, including stubborn effects, undispellable effects, and dance effects. It kind of works in the background, but I don't see it working that hectically when I'm facing them in the battles. So maybe they do work better than I think. And I mean, let me know in the comments if you have one of these scoundrel heroes. Then definitely let me know, because I haven't had too big of a problem with those passives when facing them. And to be honest, I'm not the kind of person that analyzes every single little bit of a passive when I'm facing a hero. I just know whether they're easier to take out or harder to take out and kind of go by feel. And yeah, Lane doesn't feel quite that deadly. Pretty deadly, but not quite that deadly. Right, now Thorn is next to him. Thorn, the glass version, is obviously going to be a massively powerful attacking hero. I don't think he's quite as strong on defense, but 650% to the target and minor to the nearby. Bypassing the defensive buffs with the glass version is awesome. And I don't think he has his stylish costume yet, so that's why I've touched on him. Julius, the first costume for Julius, or the only costume for Julius, actually a pretty big success for this dude, because his base version is trash. But the costume's awesome. He summons an enchanted sigil minion with 16 HP, and 25% attack inherited from the caster. And then the sigil minion gives a small amount of mana for the owner as long as they have these minions. So I really like the fact that that gives mana gain. It's at the first mana charge. And then at the second charge, he summons a fiend for all enemies, which damages with 120% attack every turn. It absorbs healing up to 70%. And it steals 45% of the generated mana from all enemies. Now, that is brutal, and the effect lasts as long as they have that fiend. It can't be cleansed, but it gets removed if they're defeated. So he can be generating mana for himself pretty much like indefinitely, and that fiend does a lot of damage. I mean, it's as close as you can get to a mega fiend without actually being a mega fiend. So yeah, I think he's an S tier hero with the costume. I think he's a fun hero to play with. And I think he is, I think he is in the S tier for me. Ether Mimic in Ice, I mean, not the greatest special because it's slow speed, 600 damage to an enemy. But it is very, very useful, obviously, for the ability to be able to sort of farm alpha ethers. But we won't sort of really count them. Like they're all the mimics are going to go in the A tier, I think. Dominique, next up. Righteous Revenge is incredible. He is freaking brutal, honestly. Fast speed. He was the first, I think, of the Beauty and the Beast releases alongside the Beast. And he is probably, in my mind, better than him. 460% to the target and nearby at fast speed is huge with the humility boost. And then the target and nearby get bleed damage, 1,260 over 4 turns. And the caster and nearby counterattack. Like it's everything, it hits the sweet spot on everything. And the passive for these guys where they don't take damage from status ailments is incredible. So yeah, in easily in the S tier. Bobu Sang, one of my favorite like slow speed heroes. I love the art on Bobu Sang as well. Deals 500% damage to all enemies, steals generated mana over 5 turns, starting low and increasing until the last turn all the generated mana is stolen. So he hits like a truck, and he also steals mana every single turn, and the effect can't be cleansed. So it's uncleansable, undispellable, however you want to say it, depending on whatever side you're on. And then all allies get sticky surface as well for 5 turns, and that steals 1 dispellable buff or growth effect from an attacking enemy. You have to be hit for it to trigger, but it only needs 1 damage. So it's really cool to be able to steal the growth effects that are on like the Mahayota heroes, for example, because you don't just steal a bit of it, you steal it all. So yeah, I really, really like Bobu Sang. I think it's a super fun hero, hits the sweet spot in a lot of areas. doesn't completely overpower all teams, but is really incredible and fun to use in not just in rush, but also in other areas as well. So yeah, I rate Bobusang very highly. Next one, Anzia, the costume for Anzia. So with Anzia costume, this was the one I was talking about earlier. So she has the counterattack, but she is just better than the mana cut because she gets the damage reduction instead. She counterattacks with a pretty huge amount, up to 171% damage, depending on how many ice shields you have on the board. But all ice allies regenerate a moderate amount of mana for each counterattack. So you're not taking mana away, you're regenerating the mana. And then she also reduces all received damage for all allies by 25% for the 5 turns of her counterattack. So yeah, she's a brute. She is a freaking brute. I do have her. I'm actually working on getting her max, but yeah, she's for me in the S tier with the costume. Even without the costume, which I've got the non-costume version max because I've done it at the hero coach, she's still really actually working very, very well. Najal next to her, another one I do have. I'm a little bit less impressed by him. Funnily enough, even though his special does read really, really well, I do think he's an S tier hero, but like personally, I have to pair him with River Fang to be able to get the most out of him. So yeah, 350% damage to all. All enemies receive 1196 frost damage over 4 turns, and then the caster and their allies absorb 20% of the dealt frost damage as health, not boosted health, just normal. And then all fire enemies get negative 64% defense against special skills for 4 turns. So really cool for going up against fire teams or fire heavy teams. But at the same time, like his frost damage, because he only does 350% damage, his attack stat is not the highest out of all of the more recently released heroes. He can still hit like a bit of a truck, and I guarantee you that if you're facing him on defense, he probably hits. I mean, when he's on defense, he probably feels like he hits harder. But when you're on attack, trust me, you want a way to be able to increase his damage. So either a defense down ahead of him or a damage increaser, damage over time increaser is really, really good to pair with Najal. So yeah, S tier, and let's move on. Stylish Richard is absolutely S tier with his champagne bottle. He's popping things off. He is an incredible hero, hits like an absolute truck, reduces attack, but like he's pretty basic. But he doesn't need to be anything else because he's got all those awesome passives and everything else. So yeah, S tier for Richard. Lempi next to him. I have actually got Lempi, and I do have a soft spot for her because she's very fast. She does have the priority to spell, but her hit is lacking. She hits for 225% damage to all enemies, and it doesn't feel like that much. And then for the next 2 turns, all enemies convert boosted health to health reduction. Now, she could have been good if that was a major thing, but it's not really a major thing at the moment where people are like boosting health massively. I was going to say she would have been incredible against Salome before she got nerfed, but now she's not really a decent counter for her anymore. Still a decent hero though. I'll give her a solid A+ for Lempi. Actually, one of the Valentine's heroes that did impress more than I thought she would. And then next to her, we have Gitnib, my least favorite of the Wildcats, but still pretty damn good. So slow speed, 1500 surge bleed over 6 turns. That's to all enemies. It's a long time and a lot of damage, like 300 a turn, and it can be increased. Then he summons a Fiend. The Fiend has 90% attack and absorbs 60% or up to 60% of the target's max health before it disappears. And then he deals 500 to 900 damage after 3 turns. See, there's the delay that I'm not a fan of. Or if the caster is defeated based on the damage the caster had taken while the effect's active. And the problem is it just is a bit too slow for most regular teams. So outside, and even in Rush, it's too slow because you've got super powered slow speed heroes that can now be very fast. So I would say Gitnib for me is probably, I'm going to say it, a Wildcat. And I said the Wildcats just with the passive would have to be in the A tier, but this guy would be pretty much like at best a B+. Like that's, he really does sort of kneecap himself a little bit with the way that his special skill fires off. So yeah, I have to eat my words on that one. Next one is Porthos. Costume for Porthos, very unimpressed by it, unfortunately. He does get a cool Musketeer passive. He is pretty good against Titans, so giving him the benefit of the doubt, we'll give him a B plus for Porthos. Lumion Tiger, absolute waste of space, freaking Titan summon heroes. I know some people are going to want to kill me for saying this, but I really don't rate any of the Titan Hunter heroes. This one as well, 250% to all, 500% against the Titan. Like, why do you want to do damage with a special skill against a Titan? Just do tiles and, or maybe like get Dark Feather in on the action and then you can do the extra damage, but not this. All allies get increased attack against fire. Fire comes more, and then Soul Connection. I'm not really impressed with any of her skill, but I'll give her a B grade. Just B plus maybe just for the use against Titans. Now, next one we have is Dvalin, Hero of the Month. Pretty okay actually because of the the frost damage. So the corrosive frost is cool because it lowers the target's defense and it hits for 370% to the target nearby. Team power is a bit lacking at 1546, but still good and still usable. Solid B grade hero. There we go. Next on the list, Casilda, one of the Insanity lot. As far as the Insanity heroes go, I don't rank her that highly. She does look incredible, and I kind of had to double take because I was like, I mean, she's one of the most recently released heroes in the game, so surely she's incredible. But when I sort of read through her special before doing this, like I wasn't that impressed. So let's have a look again, just for argument's sake. The target succumbs to fear for 4 turns. Deals 285% to the target and 5 randoms, and that's at average speed. So yeah, it's pretty good amount of damage. The fear effect is kind of cool, but not really because the target also has the ability to still do their own thing. It doesn't completely silence them. And then all hit targets get 10 insanity every time they're hit. And all hit targets can't activate their talent skills for 4 turns. But who really relies that much on talent skills? It's not a major part of the game. So it looks good from far, but it's pretty far from good, if you ask me. So I'll give her a B. Magni's stylish costume. Magni does have a lot of versatility and a lot of uses. And I think with the stylish, it just gives him that edge in terms of the stats that he needs. He's going up to 1744 on the team power. So yeah, an S tier hero for Magni, definitely. And Vari next to him, even with the costume, the problem is the Fiend Summoner thing. I mean, the Fiend Destroyer thing and the Minion Destroyer, she doesn't have much extra going on in her kit. She relies quite heavily on the burn damage. And if you do take those Season of Heroes against her, she kind of just folds into nothing. So yeah, for me, I like her because she's kind of a fun hero, and I'm sure that there will be a place for her in the future. But for now, there isn't really. So yeah, B grade, B grade. We can't put them lower than B grade, can we, if they're like 1700 team power? Or maybe we can. Milady de Winter, the costume for Milady de Winter, absolutely incredible. She reflects buffs, she reflects ailments. Like she just is such a destructive force of a hero. Like I really, really like Milady de Winter's mechanic. And she does a boatload of damage to all enemies. She also boosts her health now, so that makes her more survivable. But the fact that she gives the reflect on all enemies where they reflect status effect buffs to a random character and all allies reflect ailments to a random character, it's just a perfect mix of madness. And it doesn't affect you, but it completely disables or has the ability to completely disable the enemy team. So yeah, I rank her extremely highly. I definitely think she is an S tier hero, especially now that she has her stats back. Plus she gets that boosted health, and that cover damage is pretty brutal. I think then reducing the cover damage is probably the right thing to have done because it was going to be getting out of hand. So now they've kind of kneecapped that a little bit, but it was definitely needed. Right. Moving on, Bihari Devi. So Bihari Devi, one of the Mahayota heroes, Recovers 49% health for all allies. She is at slow speed, but she does get the growth boon on the health recovery as well. So that's pretty good. She cleanses from all and then puts everybody to sleep, into deep sleep. I don't like her that much. I just don't think she's fast enough on the heal. I don't think that deep sleep is as crippling of an effect as some people think it is, because once you take 500 damage, you wake up and it's not kind of the end of the world. It's not like being turned into a painting, put it that way. But she's trying her best. But yeah, I can't give her anything more than we'll give her a solid B plus. Did I say that was like the minimum? Yeah, I think it probably is. I don't know. We'll just wing it with them, and honestly, somebody might end up in D. I don't think we've had a single D grade hero, which is very interesting because these obviously are the more recently released ones. Next one we've got is Marco. Now, I did get a copy of Marco. I haven't leveled him up yet just because I don't like the downside of the special skill. I do have other healers. However, I will say he does look like an incredible hero. I'm definitely going to put him in the S tier, whether he likes it or not. Recovers 50% health for all allies. That's huge. Cleanses status elements from all allies at the end of each turn for 4 turns. In some events, in some cases, that is actually better than a straight upfront cleanse because you do get other ailments that will sort of rear their ugly heads up again the following turn after you dispel them. So that's good. And then all allies get plus 40% chance to dodge. Special skills that deal damage for 4 turns. Doesn't work against everybody, but does work against at least, a good 60%. And then the caster gets negative 15% mana generation, which can't be cleansed. Why the hell am I not leveling this guy? I don't freaking know. He is incredible. I should definitely get to him. And I definitely think that he is an S tier hero. So next on the list is Fenrir Toon. I do like the Toon heroes. I think that the ones that have been released recently have actually been really, really good. Fenrir is no exception. So he's now dealing 375% damage at fast speed. But if the target has less than 50% health, it's a kill shot, 750% damage, and they are in their grave, and they're not coming back. So yeah, that's really useful. And then if the target does get defeated, he gains 50% mana. He boosts his health by 50% of the damage he deals. So he's kind of selfish, but in a good way. And extra damage against fire. So yeah, I'll put him in the S tier. Missandra Toon, some people are going to hate me for this, but I don't think so. I don't like the randomness. So even though it's better now, maybe she does. So she's 410% to the target at fast speed with crazy good stats. So it's going to hit hard. And then she has an 80% chance for additional hits up to 4 times. So potential at fast speed to be hitting up to 5 times for 410. Nah, it isn't though, because the additional hits deal minor damage. So they deal 200. So you see where and I don't know. It says all allies gain a moderate amount of mana for each hit. So that again is cool. I don't know. Yeah, she's kind of got a bit of randomness to her, but I do kind of like her. I think she's good now. Yeah, we'll put her in the S tier. I do kind of like it. On second thoughts. Man, this is getting to be a really long video. Thanks for you guys who are sticking around, but I want to go through every single one. I don't want to miss anybody out. And then we are going to go through the top 20 and it'll just make it that much sweeter because we know that we did it, man. Anyways, Ariel Toon, S tier hero all day long. Fantastic, incredible heal. And obviously the Toon passive just does the world of good for her. Cobalt costume for Cobalt. I'm not super impressed by Cobalt's costume. I do think he is good. He is definitely now a strong hero. And I kind of like the counterattack, but I wouldn't give him anywhere better than an A. Kitao Sayomi, one of the newer ninjas. I'm also not going to, oh wait, sorry, I skipped a few. I'm getting ahead of myself. So Seraphine is incredible. One of the Beauty and the Beast heroes, absolutely incredible hero. She is definitely way up in the S tier for me. Ushal would be exactly the same. He is well up there, and I'm probably not going to dwell too much on those now that I know are pretty much going to be featured in the top 20. Quinn with the costume for Quinn, the pineapple barbecue in Mofo. from the super elemental costumes. I don't really think that he did himself a huge amount of good with his costume. It came out, it does pretty well. Like, it increases everything that he already did, but then he's just, the things he was doing are not as strong as they once were. Like, boosting health of all allies by 850 at fast speed is great. However, there's heroes that can hit for like 1500 now, so it's not quite as good as it was. I don't like the fact that he gives random effects based on the element of the characters. I feel like that kind of confuses things a bit. And I don't feel like him giving immunity to status effect buffs for enemies is quite as strong as giving immunity to ailments. So I do think he's good, he's strong, but like, he lacks a cleanse or a dispel, and the immunity to buff dispels is not as strong as the cleansing or the immunity ailment immunity is. So yeah, he kind of knocks himself back a few steps there. So yeah, I'll give him a solid A for Quinn, the pineapple barbecuer with the costume. Hey Gui is an absolute S tier hero all day long, as is Athena Toon that is next to him. Kitao Sayomi, like I said a moment ago, like, I wasn't super impressed by her. She is part of the new the Ronin family of the new ninjas, but she just doesn't hit as good as the other new ninjas. It's just straight up damage and then poison damage, and then it's poison damage and then it's paralysis for 2 turns. Like, it's pretty good. It can be like, I mean, it's the target nearby, and then at average speed, she's good. I mean, she's even good enough to be like an S tier hero or just there or thereabouts, but she's just lacking a little something, because it is just the damage and the poison. And obviously, if you get to the last charge, she's wrecking an entire team there, or pretty much, unless they're immune to poison. And yeah, she just doesn't do enough. Like, you'll see what I mean. Like, honestly, if you go over her card, you'll see what I mean. So yeah, we'll give her a solid A plus. I can't put her in the S tier, and still go to sleep at night. So Misty, next to her, obviously recently released into the Sunbay family. I mean, Sunbay's whatever family, the beach family. She's really good. I do like the fact that she boosts the health of all allies at fast speed by 500, and then she reduces the health of all enemies as well at fast speed. It's awesome. She also deals 275% damage to all, so you can add that on top of the health reduction, and then all enemies get negative 75% healing decrease for 3 turns. So she kind of helps your team out in a number of different ways. She's not like going to stand alone and wreck a team, but she will definitely help you towards achieving your objective. And for that, yeah, she's got to be an A plus hero. We've got Haikala next to her. I do not like the chain heal. I just really don't like it. I do like that it's a 60% health recovery, but the fact that it chains through allies adjacent to any healed ally kind of feels a bit annoying, because what if you've got one gap and then you've got somebody who's about to die? So that would really, really irritate me. The Shark Mega Minion is pretty cool. It gives its owner immunity to buff dispels and buff steals as long as the owner has a Shark Mega Minion. Again, he's not giving himself a great amount of buffs, and he's a healer at any rate. So like, you kind of don't want, you would want an ailment immunity, or you want the minions to be summoned for everybody. It just doesn't seem like it does things in the right order for Haikala, even with the recent buff, etc. So yeah, I wouldn't say anything more than an A for Haikala. Conradus is trash. Actually, funnily, it's really funny to say that a hero with 1741 team power is trash, but he is. He was just recently released into the Titan Hunter summon. I would not go. I probably would. I don't know. I can't say that I wouldn't level him, can I? Because like, that team power is too tempting. But overall, he's just not very good at all. I won't give him any more than a B plus. Or no, a B. A B. I can't do any more than a B. Food Mimic. Yeah, the Food Mimics are probably the worst in terms of the special skill, and the worst in terms of what they actually do, but they are mimics and they are pretty strong. So yeah, we'll give all mimics an A, don't we? Ulfhild, the hero of the month, that thought that she could, but she completely can't. She will get a B minus from me. Next to her, we have Azurius, and now we're getting into the most recently released heroes. So Azurius, incredible freaking hero, and very unique, like extremely unique. That's all I'm going to say. S tier all day long. Featherweight has to get into the S tier, but not quite as impressive. So he is slow speed, 400% to the target nearby, steals, but he does a lot, right? Like he steals buffs from the target nearby, distributes them on allies, steals 85% of healing to the target nearby for 5 turns, and steals generated mana from the target nearby for 5 turns. So he does a lot. Sorry, guys. This guy's doing a heck of a lot, but he's running at slow speed. So he should be doing a heck of a lot. But it's like one of those people who runs around doing loads and loads of stuff and like really, really busy. But then at the end of the day, they've done nothing. And that is the problem. That is exactly the problem with this dude is it doesn't all work very well together because at the end of the day, he might as well just deal the 400% damage and freaking call it a day. I don't know. Correct me if I think I'm wrong, but like I can't give him anything more than an A, even though he is like really recent. And yeah, I think next to him, whether it is on this list or not, we've got the Asania stylish costume, because they may have been released over the last couple of days since I started with this. The Asania costume has to get an S tier from me. Like I just love her like simplicity, the fact that she deals so much freaking damage. And with this new stylish version, she can go up to, I think it's like 500 odd % damage to all, with ridiculous stats. Yeah, up to 555% damage to all, and then gives negative 42% defense for 6 turns. It's like straightforward. This is what you're getting. Plus, she's got that stylish passive for all the protection that it affords her and being able to flip ailments into buffs, etc., etc. Yeah, S tier all day long. And then Hogni, absolute S tier hero as well. All of the costumes that are coming out now in the Untold Tales are going to be very, very interesting. They're, like I mentioned earlier, with Svafa, once she gets a costume, she is absolutely going to be a nightmare hero. The same or similar goes for Hogni, I would say, to a lesser degree. Frostfall Strike is pretty huge at this one. Deals through 2,500 damage or up to 2,500 damage for the target and the nearby. That's a lot of damage. And then extra damage if it's a fire element hero, and never misses. And then reduces the max health of the target and nearby by 1,000 over 4 turns. So massive health reduction after huge damage, plus the frost damage coming out of the passive as well. And the target and nearby resist healing, and they receive 280 damage for each resisted heal for 4 turns. Now, in his normal version, it wasn't a resist healing. It was a 70% decrease for healing. And there's a big difference. You still get 30% out of that. With this one, you get nothing. And you receive damage for the target nearby. So yeah, as far as average speed heroes go, he's just upped the ante a lot. So yeah, Hogni is an S tier hero all freaking day. And that does it for all 112 heroes, because we added an extra 2 in there to the 110 that it was when I started this, but 112 heroes. And now we are going to count down our top 20 strongest ice heroes in the entire game from 2024 right the way up until July 2026. So let's get back into it in just a second, and we will count down our top 20. I'll see you in a moment. Alrighty then. So without any further ado, let's start our countdown. Coming in at number 20, we have the lovely Ixin. Now, Ixin is obviously an astral dwarf, and I was kind of torn between what slow speed hero I was going to pick for this list. Was it going to be her, or was it going to be Milady de Winter? In the end, Ixin won. And there's a lot of good reasons for that. But yeah, the main one is that she is an absolute dominatrix in the slow speed heroes. And I mean that in the best possible way. So 530% damage to the target. It chains through everybody who's adjacent, and it doesn't reduce any damage every single hit target receives 50% increased damage for 5 turns. So you have the potential to hit a whole team and increase the damage that they receive for the following 5 turns by an extra 50%. So if you didn't kill them, they're on their last legs and they are going down regardless. Even if they take like one feather to the eyeball, they're going down. All hit targets receive that damage. The effect's increased by 10% for each minion or mega minion owned by all enemies. So if they have minions or mega minions, it gets even more, up to 100% in total. And she gives a wither effect whereby all enemies get negative 450%, a negative 450 attack. So if you want a hero with control, with power, with poise, and who you can use in pretty much all facets of the game, but becomes an absolute superstar when it comes to Rush, Ixin is your girl. And that is why she makes number 20 on our list. Now, moving on to number 19, we have the beloved Sable. And I cannot even believe that I'm having her on this list, because like anybody who knows me will know that I'm not the hugest fan of Sable, but like here she is. And she's there with good reason. And that's because she gets better and better. Like since her release, a lot of people saw it initially and a lot of people put her on the defenses, and people who pulled her were singing her praises. And truth be told, she is an incredible hero. She's fast speed. Yes, her team stats are a bit more dated, but the thing is, she works off of putting herself into ghost form. So she doesn't need great stats. She puts herself into ghost form. She doesn't take any damage while she's out there. And then she does have healing as well. So casts full removal on herself, very fast speed, shifts into ghost form for 3 turns. And then when the ghost form expires, she revives a random defeated ally with 40% HP. I mean, 40% HP is great. Like that's just perfect. It's kind of the sweet spot for a lot of heroes. I mean, 100% would be awesome, but like 40% is nothing to laugh at either. And yeah, she is really, really good and just a clutch hero. Maybe not as strong now as she was on defensive teams, but on offense, she has your back 100,000,000% and then some, because she's bringing folks back from the dead. I mean, what more do you want? Plus, she gets the passive with reducing healing by 50% for everybody else. So they have a hard time and you have a freaking great one. Yeah, she's just an incredible attacking hero. And that is why she makes number 19 on my list. And 19 actually feels high, feels kind of high for Sable. Maybe some will say she should have been lower, but honestly, this list is stacked with heroes. You're going to see. So coming in at number 18, we have an insanity hero, and it is the man with the iron fists, and that is my boy Burton, coming in at number 18. He is the epitome of what all insanity heroes wish they could be. Everything he does works absolutely perfectly. He hits with the right power, and he gives himself a chance afterwards to be able to recover. You pair him with other heroes. Obviously, Pop Hit is the most popular one, but then you can actually make it so that he receives no insanity when he casts his special. But even so, 400% damage to the target and the nearby at fast speed, inflicting them with the insanity of 25% means it's a 1 in 4 chance that they're going to reverse cast their special. He activates Stone Skin, and that drops received damage dealt to him by 1 and is removed after 5 hits. So you have to hit this guy 5 times for him to even start taking any damage after he casts his special. And then, yes, the special skill inflicts him with 40 insanity, but who honestly freaking cares? Because that is a great freaking special. And I just love the way he controls the insanity. I don't have him, but I'm jealous of anybody who does. And yeah, you can honestly congratulate yourself if you do, because he is incredible. And that is why he makes on number 18 spot. Now coming in at number 17, it is a much beloved, slightly older hero from the Astral Elves. And you know what? Astral Dwarves, sorry. It should be correct. We've got the dwarves, the demons, and the elves now, so please forgive me. But it is my boy Quarry. And I think a lot of people may be surprised by seeing him up on this list. But you know what? I think personally he deserves to be here. He is an absolute banger of a hero, and he hasn't really lost much over time. I'm just trying to figure out exactly where he is because I'm just looking for him over here on the phone. Just bear with me. I've got my list in alphabetical order. Thanks to Puzzled actually, again, because it really does help to be able to, you can just flick the switch and it sorts it in alphabetical order. I would have had an absolute nightmare with this freaking thing otherwise. Anyways, Quarry is incredible. So yeah, in case you don't already know, he deals 450% damage to the target and the nearby at average speed. The target and the nearby receive 1,092 water damage over 4 turns. All allies absorb 50% of the dealt water damage as boosted health. It's not just a selfish thing. He's not like just boosting his own health. He boosts it for all allies. And then he gives growth where all allies get 200 attack and 200 defense. I know that might not seem like a lot, but honestly, giving that increased defense and attack to everybody, you can add it up over time. Like if you were, let's say, a Mahayota hero, just for argument's sake, and you're giving yourself 75 growth. What is it now? 75 a turn. It was 100 a turn. And you're only giving it to yourself. He's giving the entire team the growth of 200 attack and 200 defense. Plus, he's giving them all boosted health for the amount of damage he deals. Plus, he's dealing a huge amount of damage at 450%. Plus, he's also healing himself. Plus, he's also giving them the damage over time as well, which can be increased with other heroes. So yeah, I feel like he deserves it. You know what? And like, I feel like we should give a shout out to the little man sometimes anyway. And Quarry is one cool little man. And that is why he makes our number 17 spot. Now, coming in at number 16 is going to be River Fang. And I'm a huge fan of this freaking hero just because of what he does and how interesting he is, but also like he's really easy to use and easy to slot in as part of a ice attacking team. Maybe not as strong on defense. Sometimes he can feel a little bit squishy on defensive teams, but maybe that's just because of the way he looks and that you think he shouldn't be on a defensive team. Who are you to say? He can be on defense. Anyway, priority dispel. For the target nearby, fast speed, 400% damage to the target nearby as well. So a huge slap in the face. And then gives 762 water damage over 3 turns. The caster absorbs 50% of dealt water damage as health. So you can see he's a little bit selfish. He doesn't do the boosted health and he doesn't heal anyone else, just him. But he does have a really cool passive, like we spoke about with Sable as well. And then the target and nearby enemies take a lasting 50% increased damage from status ailments. It's all status ailments. It's lasting increased damage. So as long as they have that damage on them, they are going to be taking more. As long as they have the effect forever, they're going to be taking increased damage over time from any single ailment that they get. Crazy. He's just such a good supportive hero. Nothing else that he does is really supportive, but then that final bit, he supports everyone. And yeah, that's why he makes easily our number 16 spot. Number 15, coming in at number 15 is going to be the second best sniper in the ice element. And that is my boy Gluzma, if I can find him. So he is going to be under G for Gluzma. There he is. Just try that on for size. Yeah, so Gluzma is, like I say, he's an incredible sniper. He steals minions or a mega minion, which is always really fun. If you are able to steal a mega minion, that is just ridiculous. Deals 600% damage to the target. The target cannot cast any new status elements on enemies or allies for 3 turns. That's my favorite part about him. He does such a lot of damage, but then he completely disables the enemy from casting any status elements on their allies or on enemies for the following 3 turns. And he's fast enough to make it count. He does give the Devouring Goo as well, but I would say that's a minor part of his special. He doesn't even need that to be incredible. And then the Devouring Goo removes growth effects and deals 200 damage per turn and 100 damage per each removed effect. So he adds that to the target as well. So not only can the target not cast any new status effects on enemies or allies, but he removes all the status effects that were there in the first place as well, which is crazy, including growth. So yeah, I really, really like Gluzma. I think he's an incredible hero. And that is why he makes our number 15. Coming in at number 14 is the actual best sniper in Empires and Puzzles. And that is a wildcat, none other than the lovely Leonard. And yeah, he's a boss. He's an absolute freaking boss. Again, I'm getting my maths and my numbers and letters mixed up in my head. L is before M, isn't it? There he is. Yeah, so Leonard, freaking incredible hero. Fast speed again, 500% damage to the target, so less than what we just looked at with Glusma, so he's got you in that department. However, the target receives 1500 surge bleed over 6 turns, a lot of bleed damage, takes 40% increased damage from status elements for 6 turns. So you see there's kind of a common theme between the two. He increases the damage 40% for 6 turns with who was it, River Fang that we were looking at? No, I was thinking of River Fang. But anyway, so River Fang is similar kind of effect, which you know is really strong. And then the target resists healing completely, so cannot heal itself, and receives 300 damage per each resisted healing for the following 6 turns. So you are just completely destroying and obliterating that target, and they are not coming back. And yeah, Leonard is the best sniper, hands down, at least in the ice heroes that we have. And that is why he pretty easily makes our number 14 spot. Moving on to number 13. And we are going to put in number 13 somebody who I would have just recently mentioned if you were watching the video, and that he probably could be higher than this. I don't know. But for now, he's a little bit of an unknown, so we are going to put him in here. And that is my boy Hogni. From the Untold Tales, Hogni's costume. So yeah, I recently just literally went over it if you've been watching this video from kind of start to finish, because he was the last on the Heroes release that I went over. But yeah, he's great, man. Like, he attacks with Frostfall Strike for 2,500 to the target and the nearby, which is a huge amount up to that. He gets obviously the incredible passives that these heroes get as well. He never misses the target as well. He reduces max health by 1,000 over 4 turns, and now he makes it so that the target and the nearby cannot heal. Again, kind of a common theme with the resisting healing, but it is very powerful. And they can't heal, and they receive 280 damage per resisted healing for 4 turns. So I kind of feel like this spot at number 13 is fitting for him. And yeah, he definitely deserves it. He may even creep up a bit higher in the future. But for now, that is where he sits, and he has made that lucky number 13 spot all his own. Now, at number 12, we have another Untold Tales 2 hero. And that, if you've probably not already guessed, is the wonderful Savafa, I think is how you say her name. I always feel like a weird kind of German guy when I say that name. But anyway, so she's coming in at number 12. And with good reason. I mean, the main one is that she is at very fast speed. And the second one is that she is going to be one of the last to receive a costume. We know it's coming. And if Hogni is anything to go by, Svafa is going to be freaking hot. I mean, cold. I mean, you know what I mean. Anyways, attacks with Frostball Strike again to the target and nearby, deals up to 1,500 damage. So that's going to increase decently. Extra damage against fire and never misses the target. The target nearby receives 705 bleed damage over 3 turns, and they get this mark of bleed for 3 turns. Whenever the marked target receives bleed damage, which they will, they're going to gain a stack of a maximum of 10 stacks, and each stack increases the damage the target receives by 5%. So every time they bleed, they get increased damage. It's a beautiful special skill, actually. And you know she's going to be dealing out frost damage as well. So she's dealing 2 different types of damage over time. You compare her with damage increases. Like if you have somebody like Leonard or you have somebody like Riverfang, she's going to take full advantage of that. If you have one of the, I think Song Jiang deals out some bleed damage, doesn't he? Or if you have any other hero that does put bleed damage on, you can pair her up really well with them because she operates really well with that as well. And yeah, she's just a brute. Even on her own, she is a brute. And she's very fast as well. So you only need 2 tile matches for all that brutality to start. And that, my friends, is why she easily makes the number 12 spot. Now, coming in at number 11, is going to be the lovely, the wonderful, the beautiful Ariel Toon, who has just been recently released. For me, it's actually probably a dual spot, this one. I think it should probably be shared by Ariel and another A name hero who is also a Toon, and that is Athena, because both of them, I think, will deserve this kind of a ranking. At the moment, where are we? Number 11. Yeah, so just outside of the top 10 heroes, because they are, I mean, they're older, but they're still incredible now with the Toon costumes. For Ariel, huge health recovery, gives all allies 40% increased mana generation for 4 turns, and it's undispellable and lasts 2 turns longer on ice characters. So imagine you had a 40% increased mana generation that's undispellable. You don't have to if you have Ariel Toon. She cleanses all status elements from all allies. So it's kind of like a poetic, incredible special. She gets the Toon passive on top of it. To me, like one of the most incredible healers in the game, hands down. So yeah, I really, really like her, and she's definitely deserving of this spot. Now, Athena, next to her, Athena's 560% damage to the target and minor to the nearby. So a huge hit. She's at 1751 team power, and then she gives the most whopping defense down, where the target and nearby get negative 41% defense, and it increases by 4% every time they hit, up to a maximum of 65% defense. That's over 4 turns. And then extra damage against fire. And the element link for the 2017 hero family is the increased mana generation as well. So you pair her with other heroes and she boosts up the mana generation. It's incredible. Like everything that she does is really good. And still now, with the Toon costume, the best defense down in ice. Well, I say that there might be 1 or 2 others that can equal her now, but still one of the best defense down heroes in the game. And for that reason, I think both of these heroes deserve the number 11 spot. And now let's get into the top 10 heroes, shall we? So coming in at number 10 is one of the first ever released Beauty and the Beast heroes, and that is my boy Dominique, the Dominator. He is incredible. He is just he's just a brutal hero. I mean, runs at fast speed, but he can deal 460% damage to the target nearby. If he's got the right amount of humility, obviously, but still, for fast speed, that is crazy. And it doesn't stop there because he dishes out 1260 bleed damage. So, we mentioned Savafa a minute ago. Put it together with Dominique. The match made in heaven. And the caster and nearby allies counterattack with 150% of the damage received for 4 turns. Plus, you add up all the crazy passives that he's got, and he easily deserves a number 10. He deserves to be in the top 10. Maybe higher, but who knows? Let's move on. So number 9 on our top 20 heroes is going to be the beloved hero that was one of the first released into the Outlaws of Liang Shan. And when everybody saw this dude, their heart stopped. They swallowed their guts and threw them up again. And that I know because that's kind of how I felt when he was released into the portal. So I can only speak for myself. But yeah, he definitely shook a few trees. So Song Jiang makes our number 9 spot. His special skill's just ridiculous. It's average speed, yes, but it's 450% to the target nearby. He heals the caster and nearby for 20% of the damage, and then he silences the people who he's just smacked in the face for the following 4 turns. And they also receive negative 40% defense for 4 turns as well. He's a brutal hero, just a great attacking hero, excellent control. He has the chance for the critical hits as well. And yeah, maybe slightly more dated than some of the others, but he easily enters into the top 10. And again, could be one that could be seen higher on this list. But for now, he sits firmly at number 9. Now moving on to number 8. And number 8, we have the lovely Mahayoda hero, who was, again, also one of the first released. And I feel like some of the first release are often some of the best heroes in the portals. And that is, of course, the lovely Chitran Gada. And yeah, she is just the epitome of this portal. I think she's a fun hero. She's an interesting hero. She's, again, kind of Sable-esque in what she does. And when you see her on the wing, you know you got problems, you know you got issues. And that's kind of the same thing as you feel with Sable, or you felt with Sable, maybe when Sable's team power was a little bit more and a bit more prevalent. But since Chitrangada has been released, she has been taking over that spot. So she's a fighter. She recovers 25% health for all allies. She gives extra healing for each point of modified defense. So as long as she's growing, she's healing more and more and more throughout the course of the battle. And then each defeated ally has a 35% chance to come back with 35% HP. And she cleanses a status ailment for all allies just for good measure. Incredible hero and deserved of our number 8 spot. Now, moving on to number 7, we have, well, you know what? This guy was kind of a difficult one for me because I went back and forth on him, and I did ask a couple of people about him, and they swear by him being an incredible hero. Now, I don't have him, so I can't tell. And just from reading his special, sometimes I kind of get things like a little bit muddled, and sometimes I give him the benefit of the doubt, and sometimes I don't. But I've been assured that he needs to be in the top 10. And on number 7 spot goes to the shady scoundrel. That is Lane. If I can find him on my list, once I get my letters and things right in my head, L, there he is. So there he is in all his glory, right? There he is. Laney Lane. He's probably up on your screen right now, but yeah, he's a creepy looking mofo, isn't he? I really think he is an interesting one because I just feel like the ambush and ransack are not the strongest. But his hit is incredible. Like, he deals 585% damage to the target and minor to all other. Sorry, not just the nearby, but to all other. And he is at average speed, but that hit is as strong as Richard. Like, it's stronger than Richard, in fact. And it's to the whole entire team. And so, yeah, I've got to give him the benefit of the doubt for that. And then he goes into the ambush where he can't receive, where he cleanses off wither and other ailments, and he can't receive them on himself. So that's strong. And then the damage that he deals while he's in that mode is increased by 50% while he's in there. So he's in ambush pretty much indefinitely, it looks like, by this. But yeah, that might be why they swear by him, because maybe after the first time you cast off his special, he just becomes that much stronger. But yeah, I feel like he does deserve that spot at number 7. Now let's move on. So number 6 on our list is going to be the lovely Seraphine. And if we can find her, she is one of the more recently released heroes from the Beauty and the Beast family. But honestly, she is a freaking beauty of note. Here she is. So yeah, Seraphine, she's at average speed. If the caster has the extra humility, she does 400% damage to all enemies. Solid at average speed. And then enemies with less than 50% health remaining, they resist healing, and they receive 400 damage per each resisted healing for the following 4 turns. So the beauty of this special is kind of like, pardon me, it's kind of a 2-in-1 thing, because she backs herself up. Her special backs itself up. Because first of all, she's doing the 400% damage. So that's going to chop you down quite a bit. For most folks, that's going to put them below 50% health. Probably less, but for most below 50%. Now, once you get below that 50%, you suddenly fall into the category of the next part of a special, where you then resist healing. So you can't come back. And every time you try and heal, you get 400 damage, which is one of the strongest that we've seen out of any heal resisting heroes. Plus, she's immune to status ailment. She gets health per status ailment you put on her because of her passive, and she gives a stack where all damage that all enemies receive is increased by 10%. And she gives 2 stacks, when she's got the extra humility. And then all enemies also get negative 34% mana generation. So not only can you heal, but you're getting increased damage. You're taking reduced mana generation. And yeah, she's just incredible. She's very, 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 very strong. And that is why she only makes our number 6. Let's move on. So number 5, these heroes are stacked. Honestly, there are some pretty stacked heroes, especially in the ice element. So moving on to number 5. And this is a guy that absolutely strikes fear into my heart every single time I have to face him on a defensive team. It is none other than the horrible Hal Winter. And yes, it's a taunt hero. He is an incredible taunt hero, though. He does everything in the right order. He gets the taunt for 4 turns. He counterattacks with 130% of the damage he receives over those 4 turns. And then he reduces all received damage by 55%. That's why you can't take him out. 55%. And he's immune to new status ailments. So you can't give him ailments to kill him either. If you hit him, you have to deal ridiculous amounts of damage to be able to try and kill this guy. And you have to get through the taunt. So you can't just dispel the damage reduction. You have to get through the taunt first, and then you have to get to the damage reduction. Trust me, guys. And I feel kind of bad for saying this because he is probably one of the most underrated heroes, but he is an insane tank and extremely difficult to get through. So yeah, Hal Winter makes my number 5 on our list. Right. And let's move on. So into the top 5 now. Hal Winter obviously was number 5. And coming in at number 4 is going to be an Astral Demon. In fact, I think the first, can that be? Yeah, I think he's the first Astral Demon and probably the only one, in fact, I think on my list. And that is Ushal is number 4. And this guy's a monster again. So let's just have a look at him, shall we? So 355% damage to all enemies. Yes, he's at average speed, so not as hard as Seraphine, shall we say, but still incredible. And obviously team power of 1730, so he's right on the money there. The passives these heroes get are insane. The Astral Demon's passives are the best in the game, I think, I would say hands down. And then the attack that he has bypasses counterattacks and reflections. So you can't reflect or counterattack against him, which is a very strong tactic against heroes that do ridiculous amounts of damage. However, unfortunately, you can't use it against this dude. He also gives Wither. So everybody gets, or all enemies get negative 425 attack, which is huge. Because remember, we started off with a hero that gives Wither an attack, and I was thinking it was like 500 for a slow speed Astral Dwarf. This guy's doing 425 at average. Then at the end of each turn, the caster shoots an Astral Beam, which he obviously needs, at a random enemy for 4 turns. How rude. And the Astral Beam deals 300% extra damage and reduces the max health of the hit enemy by 300. He's a brute. He's a freaking brute. He's an absolute barnstormer and easily makes our top 5. And he is in our number 4 spot. Right. So who's at number 3? We're counting down now the top 3 heroes of the last 2 years in Empires and Puzzles. Coming in at number 3 is going to be the ghastly, ghoulish ghost of Hey Gooey. I'm sure you're supposed to pronounce that differently, but I haven't. Yeah, this is a crazy hero. So dispels buffs from all enemies at fast speed. That in and of itself is incredible for me. You know I love a priority dispel. Deals 565% damage to the target. And then the target receives 2,625 water damage. It's crazy. Over 3 turns. Again, insane. Like you're just going to wipe an enemy out real quick. And then the effect is stubborn. So you can't kind of dispel it. It's that new stubborn thing where you got to try a few times and it reduces the duration by 1 every time that you try and remove it. But then the caster casts full removal on themselves. So they disappear. But then when they're in ghost form, at the end of every turn, this vengeful ghosty deals 450% damage to a random enemy and dispels buffs from them. How do they do that? And the effect is undispellable. Man, just a brutal hero. Honestly, like maybe a little bit less, like a little bit more understated than what we just looked at with Ushal. Like you're like, okay, Ushal's just pure power. This one is just, you know, suck you dry and drain you over time and like lull you in. But even then it's not, because that's a huge amount of damage over time. Yeah, I can't say any more, honestly. Hey Gui, the Ghastly Ghost easily makes our number 3 spot. Right. Now, number two, and this might surprise some people because it's not maybe the newest hero in the whole of Empires and Puzzles. However, I still feel that this one deserves the number two spot. And that is the mighty Vernix. This hero is so good. Do not sleep on Vernix. If you do have her and you're not leveling her, I don't know what you're doing. Incredible as a tank, incredible as part of an attacking team. She deals 320% damage to all enemies at fast speed. I think that's pretty much the maximum cap that you can actually do as a hit all at fast speed, which is huge. She also reduces the mana of all enemies by 5%. You might say, well, 5% is not a lot. Guess what? It's enough to stop you from being fully charged. And that is enough in any situation to frustrate the heck out of you, because just now you are fully charged. Now you need to find an extra tile. And that can be the difference between living and dying in Empires and Puzzles. It's life and death, man. But seriously, all enemies receive 2,435 frost damage over 5 turns. And that's if any enemy had the frost status element. If they didn't, she deals slightly less damage and slightly less frost damage over 5 turns. But still, it honestly does not matter. Either way you look at it, she is an incredible hero. She gets the 9 lives passive, so it means that she just keeps coming back and smashing you in the face and coming back and smashing you in the face. And before you know it, your whole entire team has been wrecked by a single snow leopard in a hoodie. And yeah, that's what Vernix is, and she's proud of it, and she is an absolutely incredible hero. And that is why she makes our number 2 spot. And coming in at number 1, and yeah, we've reached it. We've come to the final hero out of all of these heroes. The countdown is ending, and our number 1 hero is maybe going to be a surprise for some of you, because you know I don't like these kind of heroes normally, but this dude is something different. So number 1 spot goes to an insanity hero. Yep, Azurius. Azurius makes our number 1 on the list. And he is a very, very new hero. I know that he's a new hero. Normally, I don't put the newest of the new in this list, and especially not this high up the list, because obviously they haven't had that long of a time to be tried and tested. But I see something incredible in this hero, and this is my list, so you know, you can make your own. But no, seriously, I love that you guys watch this, and I really appreciate every single one of you. So yeah, but I do feel like there's something special about this hero. So Azurius, let's have a good look at him. So what does he do first of all? He changes the element of all enemies to fire for 4 turns, which is incredible. Like, it's cool. It doesn't work against Titans, unfortunately, but we're not really talking about Titan heroes in this list too much. He then deals 300% damage to all enemies. So at average speed, 300% damage to all, not a huge amount of damage, right? He inflicts 20 insanity on them. So again, it's not a ridiculous amount of insanity. It's a 1 in 5 chance that you're going to reverse cast your special, but things are starting to ramp up, right? You've changed the element. It's going to last for 4 turns, which is a long time in Empires and Puzzles. You've done 300% damage, so you've done a good, decent hit across the board, and you've also inflicted everybody with 20 insanity, so you know that they've got that going on. So there's a chance they're going to reverse cast. And then the caster gives Taunt, so it prevents enemies from using special skills on any of his allies for 4 turns. So you know he's protecting his allies and everything like that. But then suddenly, out of nowhere, the caster reflects all status elements and 165% damage back to the attacker, and blocks other negative effects from enemies' fire special skills for 4 turns. So how does that now work? Because every single other enemy, you've just turned them into the fire element. And now for the next 4 turns, they are crippled from being able to cast any special skill, because you've got Taunt and you've got to reflect against fire, which is going to send any element that they cast and any damage that they do back to them for the next 4 turns. He is an absolute cheat code of a hero, and I love it. I love the uniqueness of his special. I think that it's incredible that you're shutting an entire team down for the next 4 turns, and that you're making it so that any special skill they cast, because they now are casting any fire it's going to be a fire special skill when they cast it, is going to be reflected back to them. And I think this hero is the epitome of what I would like to see going forward in Empires and Puzzles. And yet, maybe he shouldn't be at number one. Maybe he's not the greatest hero out of all of them. But in my mind, this is what I would like to see going forward. And honestly, out of the top 20, there's probably like out of the top 10, you could probably pick and choose and swap and switch quite a lot of these heroes around. But to me, I think this guy is incredible. Yes, casting the special inflicts 45 insanity on him, but I feel like it's a small price to pay for the satisfaction that you'll get knowing that you've just switched the whole team into an element that they can now do literally nothing against you. And yeah, that is it. And that is our countdown of the top 20 ice heroes in Empires and Puzzles from 2024 July all the way up until July 2026. So I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. Please do let me know in the comments what you guys think. Let me know if there's some heroes that you think that should have been included that haven't been included in the list. Hopefully I've been able to at least address a lot of the heroes that you guys enjoy. Do drop us a like and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell notification so you know when the next videos are dropping. Share it with your mother, and I'll see you again in the next one. Bye for now.